it's just a telescope.
Okay, so let's just check that you can all see me and you can all hear me, okay? Just give me the thumbs up. Good. Okay, great. Okay, I think what we'll do today is we start our practice in child's pose, just tuning into the energy. So coming into child's pose to start with, you might have a bolster there, or you might just go into child's pose, so taking your knees nice and wide and bringing your body down, just settling into the earth and grounding your energy. Taking some nice deep breaths. Noticing your legs against the ground and your feet against the ground. Notice any sensations in your lower back and coming up through your upper back into your shoulders. Hi, Carolyn. Taking some nice deep breaths and exhaling all that you don't need. Nice big deep exhalations. Just tuning into the energy in your private yoga space. Leaving behind the busyness of your morning and tuning into your breath. Staying here for another 5 breaths. And when you're ready, coming up to a comfortable seated position. You may want to sit on a bolster. You might want to have your legs crossed, or you might have them out in front, whatever's comfortable for you. Having a nice tall spine. Thank you for being here today, for yourselves and for each other. We support each other in our yoga community. We're going to do an energetic asana today, and we're going to focus on hip opening and shoulder opening. And we're going to start off with a balancing meditation to balance out our breath and to bring some stillness within the mind, ready for our yoga practice. Tuning into your breath, exhaling, breathing out all that you don't need anymore. Taking a big breath in and a long deep breath out. Softening your eyes, and we'll begin with the meditation on the tip of the nose. So softening your eyes and bringing your hands to a comfortable position. Using your inner focus to cultivate internal feeling that you wish to strengthen. Preparing your mind and your body, opening your spine and strengthening through the movement. Directing your gaze internally, feeling evenly sitting over your seat bones with a tall spine, crown of your head towards the ceiling, and a gentle feeling of being upright. Using your breath to support yourself with ease, feeling the face and the mouth nice and soft, eyes closed. Adjust your chin slightly down. Focus your attention on the tip of your nose. It might help to actually touch the tip of your nose, just brushing it to get a feeling for it. And observe your natural, spontaneous breathing, breathing in and breathing out, making no attempt to control or manipulate your breath. Simply observing your unique breath as it brushes your nostrils, feeling the breath in as it flows in and flowing out. Follow the experience of breathing with your mind, connecting to the breath as it comes in, briefly pausing and goes out again, briefly pausing. The breath sustains the life in your body. Without the breath, there is no life. Tune into the subtle sound of your breath as it enters and leaves the nostrils. Notice if your inhale feels more from the left or from the right nostril. Perhaps it's even. Is your exhale more dominant through one nostril or even? Avoid engaging any further thoughts, simply observing with an attitude of detached witness. Notice the inhalation as the coolness enters through the nostrils. Feel the passage of the breath. Observe the exhalation, subtly warmer as it lets go all of the waste gases. You now may be aware of your nostrils gently flaring as you breathe in, and perhaps a sense of the nasal hairs moving, filtering the breath, maintaining an attitude of pleasantness as the effort is very little as the breath comes in and out, focusing on the tip of your nose. Your attention is like that of a watchman at a city gate, noticing those passing in and going out. Just staying alert at the gate of the nostrils. There's no effort to your breathing, simply staying tuned to your natural breathing process and the touch point of the breath and your nostrils. From time to time, checking that your posture is still supportive and upright, with a soft face and spine, returning to the focus of your breath. If you feel your mind wandering, gently return to the focus, the subtle feeling of your breath at your nostrils. Sounds and thoughts might arise in the background or in the foreground. Just notice from moment to moment the awareness of your breath pleasantly coming in and going out. Staying here for another 5 breaths. Starting to bring your attention back into the room and slowly opening your eyes and quietly observing your mind and your body. Set yourself an intention for your practice. It might be to continue the stillness of the mind, or it might be anything that you want to bring more to into your body and into your practice. From here, we're going to go into a all-four position. Just coming into a nice neutral position. We'll gently do some rounds of cat-cow to start to warm up your spine as you're taking a deep breath in, raising your chest and raising your gaze. And as you breathe out, bringing your spine up towards the ceiling, taking your gaze between your legs towards your feet, and breathing in again. Taking your own time and your own space, letting your breath initiate the movement. Start to feel a little bit of movement right through your spine. And we'll take one more big breath. And breathing out. From here, we're going to stretch through the shoulders, bringing your right hand a little towards the center of your mat. And we're going to take your left hand and lift it up towards the ceiling, raising your gaze onto your hand, stretching right up, opening through the chest, and then bringing the hand down and underneath your right arm, threading it through and stretching through as you hover. And then inhaling, coming all the way back up again. And exhale all the way down. Just continue on for another 4 rounds, opening up the chest on your inhalation as you raise the gaze. And as you exhale, bring the left hand under the right, stretching through, opening through the shoulder blades. On the next round, we'll inhale and take our left hand all the way up. And we're going to bring that left hand underneath the right. Take the right hand a little further forward and come down, stretching through the shoulder on the left side. Stay here for about 4 breaths. Just noticing that scapula on the left side, opening up, stretching through the shoulder. And then coming back up onto all 4. And we're going to go to the other side. So this time we're going to bring the left hand towards the center of the mat, taking the right hand up towards the ceiling, taking your gaze with it, and exhale, threading that right hand underneath the left and stretching through, and then inhale, take it all the way up. Continue on for another 4 rounds at your own pace, your own time. Let the breath initiate the movement. Just focusing on the opening through the shoulder on the right side and opening through the chest. And all the way back up. On the next exhalation, we're going to bring that right hand under and bring our arm and our shoulder down towards the mat and take the left hand forward, bringing your ear down towards the mat and resting here as you take 4 deep breaths and noticing the opening through the scapula on the right side. And one more deep breath here. And then coming back up to all 4s. And taking your knees nice and wide and your feet together, we're going to take our buttocks down to our heels and walk our arms forward into resting into child's pose, surrendering into the energy of the universe. Taking 5 deep breaths here and noticing how your body is feeling. Notice your shins against the earth and the tops of your feet and your hands. Bring your forehead down towards the mat. Each exhalation just coming down a little lower, surrendering into the earth and the energy that supports us in our practice. Taking one more deep breath here. And then coming back up onto all fours. And we're going to move into chaturanga, so a little bit of hip strengthening. We're going to lift our left leg, pointing our toes down towards the mat, and we're going to do some circles, taking some big circles in an anti-clockwise direction. Just taking some big deep breaths, lengthening out through the spine, toes pointing down towards the mat. Just moving your leg with your breath and then taking it back the other way. Really squeezing through the buttocks, strengthening through the hip on the left-hand side. And then bringing that left knee back down to the mat, and we'll take it to the other side. So lengthening out through the right leg, lifting the leg up to hip height, having your hips nice and even, and we're going to move that foot in a circular direction, drawing a big circle with your heel, toes pointing down towards the mat. Taking some big deep breaths and then take it back the other way. Strengthening through the buttock and lengthening through the leg. And then bringing that right knee back towards the mat. And we're going to go into some alternate leg and arm lifts. So we'll start off with our right hand and our left knee. So we're going to inhale and we're going to lift and lengthen through the left hand, the right hand and the left foot. Toes pointing down towards the mat, keeping your back nice and still and flat. Then we're going to exhale and bring the knee towards the elbow, like a tiger curl. And then inhale, lift and lengthen. Continuing on for 4 more rounds, keeping your body nice and still. Imagine you've got a bowl of water on your back and you don't want to spill it. So strengthening through the core. As you inhale, lengthen through your hand and your foot. We'll go 1 more round. And then landing the knee and the hand back onto the mat. And we'll go to the other side. So our left hand and right knee. We're going to inhale and lift. Right toes pointing towards the mat. And then exhale, bringing the knee forward to the elbow, curling into a tiger. And then inhale, lengthen. Lengthening through the hand and the foot. Keeping our spine nice and still. We'll go 2 more rounds. And then bringing that hand and knee back to the mat. From here, we're going to go into a lizard pose. So we're going to take our left foot forward on the outside of the mat to place the left foot next to the left hand. And from here, you can take your knee off the mat or you can leave it there. Just stretching through that hip on the left side. Noticing how that's feeling. Taking a few breaths here. And then on the next exhalation, taking that foot back, coming into your first downward dog for the practice. Bringing your heels down towards the mat, lengthening through the back of your hamstrings. Noticing how that feels through your lower back and through your shoulders. And then coming back down onto all fours and take your right foot forward, placing it next to your right hand. And from here, you can stay with your left knee on the ground and take it forward, or you can lift the left knee off the ground, whatever feels right for you today. And just taking 4 nice, long, deep breaths here, noticing how this feels through the left hip flexor and the right hip. And this is lizard pose. 2 more breaths here. And then we're going to, on the next exhalation, take that right foot back next to the left and come back up into child's pose, stretching out through the back of your legs, bringing your heels down towards the mat, just walking them one at a time. Let's take 5 deep breaths here, coming back to home where it's nice, comfortable position in downward dog. Noticing the earth beneath your hands, supporting your practice and beneath your feet. From here, we're going to lift up through the left leg, up into a 3-legged dog. And then bending that left knee and bringing the left foot towards the right side of the mat, noticing the stretch through the front of the leg into scorpion. We'll take 3 breaths here. It's quite a strong pose. You can always rest into a child's pose if you need to. Being kind to yourself in your practice, and then bringing that left foot down to the mat. Walking your heels down again, stretching through the back of your legs. And then we're going to lift up through the right leg into a 3-legged dog, pointing your toes down towards the ground. And then bending the right knee, bringing the foot towards the left side. Taking 3 breaths here and noticing how that feels along the front of the right thigh. 1 more breath and then land the foot down onto the mat and come back down into child's pose. And we'll have a little rest here for about 3 breaths. So bring your knees nice and wide, buttocks down towards your heels, and bring your forehead down towards the mat. Just coming back to your breath. And then from here, we're going to come up into a standing position, and we're going to do our sun salutes, warming up our body a little more. So we're going to do 4 rounds today. We're going to start at the top of the mat in Tandasana. Just taking a few deep breaths there, softening your gaze. Just adjust this a little. Bring our hands to Anjali Mudra. And then we're going to inhale, lift our arms up towards the ceiling, stretching through the body, exhaling, folding forward. And then lift and lengthen the spine. And then exhale, we're going to step back into a high plank, or you can bring your knees to the mat into a low plank. And then we're going to lower our body to the mat. Inhale as we lift our chest into an upward dog, and then tuck our toes under into downward dog. Take a breath here. And then we're going to raise our gaze towards our hand, and step or jump forward. Bring your feet towards your hands. And then we're going to take a breath here. Inhale, lengthen our spine. And then exhale, bring our chest towards our legs. And then inhale, come all the way back up again to mountain pose. And back to Anjali Mudra. So noticing your breath here. Just taking a couple of breaths before we go into our next 3 cycles. You can go at your own pace, or you can come with me. So I'm going to inhale, lift and lengthen, and then exhaling, folding forward. Lift and lengthen as you inhale, and then stepping back into high plank or low plank. Slowly lowering your body, bending at your elbows. Inhale as you lift into upward dog, and then tucking the toes under, coming up to downward dog. Staying here for a breath, and then taking your gaze forward and stepping your feet towards your hands into a forward fold. Inhale as you lift and lengthen your spine. Exhale, draw your chest towards your legs. And then inhale all the way back up again. And hands back to Anjali Mudra. Just noticing your breath, going at your own pace, letting your breath settle. And we'll go for 2 more rounds. So inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And then stepping back on the exhalation into a high plank. Slowly lowering your body down to the ground. Inhale, lift into upward dog. And tucking your toes under, coming up into downward dog. Taking a breath here, and then stepping forward as you take your gaze towards your hands. Into a forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. And exhale, draw your chest, really stretching through the back of your legs and your lower back. And then inhale, come all the way back up. And hands back to Anjali Mudra. Nice work, ladies. So we'll go 1 more round. Inhale, lift and lengthen, stretching up towards the ceiling. Exhaling as you fold forward. Inhale, lift your spine, lift your chest, and then exhale, stepping back into your high plank or low plank. Exhale as you slowly lower your body down to the mat. Inhale, lifting your chest, lifting your gaze into an upward dog, really feeling that beautiful stretch through the front of your body, tucking your toes under and bringing your hips to the ceiling for downward dog. Taking your gaze towards your hands and then step forward to forward fold. Lift and lengthen your spine, and then exhale as you draw your chest towards your legs, and then coming back up to Anjali Mudra. Nice work. So taking a few breaths here, just give your body a little bit of a stretch. Should be starting to feel a little bit warm now. We're going to go into a warrior sequence. We'll start with warrior 1. So we're going to take our left foot, go to the back of the mat and take our left foot out towards the side. And then we're going to step forward with our right foot, getting a nice comfortable position with your feet, noticing the mat under your feet and spreading out your toes. We're going to inhale. We're going to take our hips facing forward and our chest facing forward, lift our arms up and bending our right knees, the knees over the ankle, lifting up. And we're going to take a few breaths here, just feeling that stretch through the chest and the shoulders and also through the left hip flexor, having our hips facing forward and our chest facing forward. And then we're going to go into warrior 2, taking the right hand forward, left hand back, gazing towards your right hand. Just taking 2 breaths here, And again, noticing the strengthening through the right leg, through the thigh. And then inhale, lifting that right hand up and taking your left hand down towards the left knee. Looking up towards the ceiling. Taking 2 breaths here. And then we're going to take that right hand down towards the right foot. If you have a block, you can put your hand on a block, or you can take the hand to the ankle or the ground. And we're going to take the left hand and bring it up into a triangle pose. Staying here for 3 breaths. So that right leg now is in the lengthened position. Taking 2 more breaths here and noticing the stretching through the back of the right leg. Exhale as you bring the left hand down next to the right. And then we're going to take the right hand up into a twisted triangle. So take your gaze up towards the right hand and noticing the stretching through the back of the right leg for 2 more breaths here. And then bringing that right hand down to the mat. So you're framing your right foot, and then take left foot forward, so you're into a forward fold, and then coming back up into a standing position. Give your legs a nice shake, and we'll go to the other side. So this time we'll take the right foot, pointing the toes out towards the side of the mat, at the back of the mat, and we're going to step forward with your left foot, opening up through your toes, noticing the floor under your feet, and we're going to inhale, lift our arms and bending our left knee, so the knee's over the ankle. Taking 5 breaths here and noticing the stretch through the right hip flexor this time. Lift and lengthen through the hip, through the chest and through the arms. Taking your gaze up towards the ceiling. 1 more breath here, and then take the left hand forward and the right hand back, keeping your gaze towards the left hand, keeping that front leg bent. And then we're going to inhale, lift the left hand up and take the right hand back towards the back of the right knee and looking up towards the ceiling. Noticing the stretch through your body. Taking 2 breaths here. And then folding forward, bringing both hands down to frame your left foot. Bringing your left hand towards the inside of your left foot and taking your right hand up towards the ceiling. Take your gaze up to the right hand into triangle pose, lengthening through the left leg now. Feeling the stretch through the hamstrings and the left leg. And as you're gazing up, opening up through the chest. Taking 2 more breaths here. And then bringing the right hand down towards the mat. And we're going to inhale and lift the left hand up into a twisted triangle for 3 breaths. This time noticing that stretch through the hamstring on the left side and opening up through the chest. And then bringing that left hand back down on the outside of the left foot and step forward with the right foot into a forward fold. And then inhale, coming all the way back up to a standing position and hands to Anjali Mudra. Nice. And then give your legs a little shake and then come to having the mat wide. Bring your feet nice and wide on the mat lengthways. We're going to inhale. We're going to have our feet facing parallel to each other, toes facing forward and nice and wide apart. We're going to inhale, lift up, lengthen through the body, through the arms, and then we're going to exhale. We're going to fold forward and bring our hands down to the mat. Take our legs a little wider, as wide as comfortable for you, and then hands down towards the mat. And try to bring your crown of your head down towards the mat. And we're going to stay here for 5 breaths, noticing the stretch through the hamstrings and the lower back, and also through the inner thighs.
Coming back to your intention for your practice, enjoying the inversion. Just taking some deep breaths here, coming back to your breath. Three more breaths here. And then lift and lengthen through the spine. And we're going to take our right hand towards our left foot. And we're going to take our left hand up towards the ceiling, looking up towards the left hand into a twist. Staying here for 2 more breaths. And then bringing the left hand down to the mat and taking the left hand towards the right foot and taking the right hand up towards the ceiling. Taking your gaze up towards that right hand. Taking 2 more breaths here. And then bringing the right hand down to the mat and just walking your feet back towards each other again. And then inhaling, coming back up to standing position, back to Anjali Mudra. Give your legs a little shake. And we're going to come down to a seated position on the mat. Into Paschimottanasana. So coming down with your sit bones on the mat, your toes pointing towards the ceiling and the heels pointing forwards, having a nice stretch through the back of your legs. We're going to inhale, lift our arms up, and we're going to exhale, fold forward, and if you can grab your big toes, holding on there, otherwise having your hands on your ankles or your shins. Just relaxing into this stretch through the back of your legs and your lower back. We're just going to take 5 breaths here, and each time you exhale, allowing your body to surrender a little more to the stretch. Gazing towards your big toes. And 2 more breaths here. Then releasing your toes and bringing your soles of your feet together into a butterfly position, allowing your knees to fall out towards the sides. If you want, you can tuck a bolster or a cushion underneath your knees if you feel you need some support. And we're going to lay down into this position, bringing our back down to the mat, allowing our knees to fall out towards the side and gently resting our hands just towards the top of the legs near the hips. Taking 5 breaths here, just noticing how the hips are opening and the groin is opening through this butterfly position. Again, feeling the earth underneath your feet, underneath your buttocks and your lower back, shoulders and the back of your arms and the back of your head. Taking 2 more breaths here. And then drawing your knees together and your feet flat on the ground, hugging the knees up towards the chest and moving your body in whatever way you need. It may be in a little circle, just massaging through your lumbar spine. And then landing your feet down flat on the mat with your knees bent, arms out to the side. We're going to take a little twist here. So we're going to take our knees towards the right side and our gaze towards the left hand, keeping the back of your shoulders nice and flat on the mat. Noticing the stretch down the left side of your body. Staying here for 3 more breaths. And then on your next inhalation, bring your knees back to center, your feet flat on the ground, and we're going to take it to the other side. So exhaling, knees to the left and gaze to the right. Relaxing into this twist, and notice the nice massage your body receives down the right side, having your shoulders flat on the ground, feeling a nice stretch through the front of the pecs. And then bringing the knees back to center and taking your feet to the outside of the mat now, so your feet are nice and wide apart. And we're going to take both knees to the left and look to the right like a windscreen wiper. And then we're going to go to the other side. So inhale as you lift up and exhale as you drop your knees to the right side. It's going from right to left and left to right, releasing any tension through the front of the hips and the thighs and the lower back. Do a few more rounds here. It's going from left to right and right to left. Letting your breath guide the movement. And then bringing your feet back towards the center of the mat, hugging the knees to the chest as you exhale, and inhale as you take the knees away from your chest to Apanasana. Releasing the spine, just rinsing out the twist, and then bringing your feet down to the mat. Hands down, flat on the mat as well, and we're going to lift up into a bridge. So inhale, lift our hips up, bringing our heels towards our buttocks. And you can either leave your hands where they are, or you can take them underneath into a clasped position and draw your shoulders together. And lifting up, really squeezing through the buttocks, feeling that stretch through the front of the hips and the front of the thighs. Stay here for 3 more breaths. Each inhalation, lifting the hips up a little higher. And on the next exhalation, slowly lowering your spine down, vertebrae by vertebrae, hugging the knees up to the chest again. And we're going to take our legs into an inversion. So if you're near a wall or a bed, you can have your legs up the wall. You can have a support underneath your hips and go into a supported leg inversion, or you can come up into a half shoulder stand, whatever is the right one for you. So coming into your legs up position. If you're coming into a half shoulder stand, having your hands holding your hip like a fruit bowl and bringing your elbows a little bit close together. We're going to stay here for 10 breaths. So bring your thoughts back to your intention of your practice. A nice even breath. Coming back to the meditation that we did on the tip of your nose. And just noticing again as you inhale, as the air filters through the nostrils, coming in cool, pause, and then exhale as it comes out, the warm air from your body. Moving your ankles in a circle, nice and light, lightness through your legs. Inversion, just helping your lymphatic system, draining any fluids down from your feet and your ankles, down through your legs, towards your hips. If you're in a half shoulder stand, you might like to bring your feet over your head. If you have your legs up on the wall, you might like to take them out nice and wide. Staying here for 5 more breaths. And then if you have your legs up the wall, you might like to bring your soles of your feet together with your knees out wide And if you're in a half shoulder stand, gently bringing your body back down towards the mat. Just slowly swinging your body down and coming into resting in Savasana. Getting yourself nice and comfortable. You might like to have a bolster underneath your knees to support your lower back. If you have a blanket or a cardigan, you might like to put that over you to keep you nice and warm. Just cultivating that beautiful warmth that you have built up in your yoga practice. Getting yourself into a nice comfortable position. We're going to rest into Savasana, just a nice silent rest and just cultivating all the energy that you have brought through your practice. Just relaxing and enjoying the rest, coming back to center. Starting to bring your thoughts back into the room. Noticing the ground underneath you, supporting you through your practice. Noticing the sounds in the distance and the sounds in your room. Gently stretching your arms overhead and then rolling to one side. You can stay rested there if you wish, or you can come up to a comfortable seated position. Thank you for being here today and for all that you do for yourself, raising your energy and taking that energy to your family and your community. Noticing your body and noticing your mind and that feeling to take with you for the rest of your afternoon. Let's close the practice with an Om. You can join me if you wish, but you don't have to. We're going to bring our hands to Anjali Mudra, taking in a big inhalation and then exhaling all that we don't need. Another breath in. Namaste. Bring your hands to your third eye for kind thoughts and to your lips for kind words and to your heart for a kind heart. Thank you for being with me today and enjoying your yoga practice. And well done to those of you who did the yoga practice on your own last week. Very impressive. How did everyone go today?
Very well, thanks, Jenny.
That's good.
That's
good.
Lovely, Jenny. Very good.
Good.
Thank you.
The meditation on the tip of your nose is a really nice thing to do for 5 minutes when you go to bed at night, just to really balance out your mind, to get rid of all the junk that's in the mind so that you can have a really nice, restful, calm sleep. So you might like to try that.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
You too. Good to have you back, Jenny.
Thank you. Okay. Bye.